went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on my skateboard by mistake, and I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was still running. And I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Ever had one of those days or days when all of those days gang up on you? Well, Alexander is only 8, but today he's faced with a barrage of bummers. But when it comes down to it, it's all in your perspective. Are they really that bad? Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day by Judith Vorst. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray carcass in his breakfast cereal box, and Nick found a Junior Undercover Agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box, but in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said, if I don't get a seat by the window, I'm going to be car sick. No one even answered me. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At school, Mrs. Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? At singing time, she said I sang too loud. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend, and that Albert Moya was his next best friend, and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, that the ice cream cart falls off the cone cart and lands in Australia. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag. Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a jelly roll with coconut sprinkles on top. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That's what it was, because after school, my mom took us all to the dentist, and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'm going to Australia. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot. And while we were waiting for my mom to go get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy. And when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. And while I was punching Nick for saying, crybaby, my mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I am having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I told everybody. No one even answered. But then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes, Nick chose red ones with white stripes, and I chose blue ones with red stripes. But the man said, we're all sold out. They made me buy plain, old, white ones, but they can't make me wear them. When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was careful, as could be except for my elbow. He also said, don't fool around with his phone, but I think I called Australia. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. There were lima beans for dinner, and I hate limas. There was kissing on TV, and I hate kissing. My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes, and my marble went down the drain. I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep. The Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not with me. It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says that some days are like that, even in Australia.